Ah, the French champagne.
I'm going to give special props to makeup on this film because they took Tom Hanks and made him look like hot garbage. And
yes,
that's hard to do because that man is a gem and a treasure. And he just
along with
like,
Amanda Bynes.
Yep, and he just looked like he'd been put in a washing machine.
We're not putting them together.
Sean is.
That is the definitive position of this podcast. Tom Hanks and Amanda Bynes are equals in terms of their celebrity status and
American treasures.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Correct.
I'm the odd one out this week. Fuck. No.
So rare.
It is rare. Usually I get to just pit you two against each other.
Nope, not this week, baby.
Normally Jack's a puppet master and he just watches me and Sean fight.
Amanda Bynes, I fucking hate her in this. Okay. I hear you. It is meat and potatoes, and it's very clean in a way that is also like kind of tricky. Like they picture there's like the one shot of the black woman who gets the ball and throws it to her.
Okay, yeah, that's a clumsy.
Oh, that was so heavy-handed. That made me like.
I was like, oh, we're gonna get a story where they bring on a black woman onto the team and they confront the racial barriers that women of the time were also. Oh nope, she's in it for that one. Oh, okay, bye.
But honestly, that would be way heavy lifting. Like even the fact, given when this movie was made, I thought that was pretty ahead of the times to be. You know what I mean?
It's pretty shitty.
It was heavy-handed and crappy, but not true. You know?
Yeah.
It shows us that we had a long way to go then, and we have a long way to go now.
We still have a long way to go.
That's I say what we learned from that scene. And also, what was I going to say? But there are some things that I really did love and some shots that I thought were really cool. I loved, in particular, I want to give a shout out to a shot in A League of Their Own of when they're racing for the train. And they have the camera inside the train, and Gina Davis is catching up and throwing a case in, and then it goes back, and she runs up again, and she throws the next case in, and then she goes up, and you hear her say, "Here, give me your bag," and then she has Kit's bag, and it's a great shot from inside the train. I thought it was brilliant.
And she gets her kid sister on first. Like there's so many like moments where they're kind of laying in this thing for what happens, which is why I think there's a big thing on the internet. A big argument as to whether she dropped the ball or didn't purposefully.
Well, of course.
Like, there's a big.
What do you think? What do you think?
I think she did.
Ooh. She was railroaded. It's hard to hold on.
So this is the problem. If we're talking about the way the whole story went, like if I'm looking at all these little moments where she put Kit first, kind of quietly, it makes me think she dropped it. But then I think in the end, but then the other side of me, in the one moment, I think she dropped it because she got hit too hard, and it was an indication of Kit actually beating her.
I also have a question about this, though.
Thank you.
Is that how fucking baseball works?
This is my question.
If you have the ball and you're parked on the home base,
if you're blocking the base, the runner has every right to
just mow you down.
You. Absolutely, and if you drop the ball by doing that, then they're safe.
So you can tackle them.
It's not a tackle. You're moving them out of the way.
But doesn't
with your body?
But if you tag them, they're out.
Yeah, doesn't that count as making contact with the player?
But if she drops it, then she wasn't in control of the ball.
But if I have the ball and I tag the player with the ball first, and then I drop the ball, the tag happened first.
But she wasn't. She didn't reach out and tag her as she slid in. She was holding.
She was too busy getting assaulted.
Yeah, that's baseball. That's fucking baseball, baby.
Yeah, it's a dumb sport.
I gotta get the charger for the computer.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Dad.
I had the same question though. I was like, is that really how this works?
Absolutely. Oh, look up some railroad clips. There's some beauties.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
Sean, I'm really not going to. I don't want my YouTube algorithms to get all fucked up and think I want to see baseball videos.
No, yeah, for some reason you'll start getting Ben Shapiro recommendations just from that.
Yeah, it feels like you're just gonna get those anyway. It's YouTube.
Yeah.
All I want to do now is just text Miranda and be like, can you Google Amanda Bynes? She's the man on like all of Jack's devices, so that all he ever gets is
only good scenes.
Amanda Bynes.
Yeah. I've been catering my YouTube algorithm for years. That would be the worst. Also, okay, another funny sport thing question. These movies both suffer also from score the goal or win or hit the ball and the game is over.
Yeah.
problem.
Thank you.
Which it's just frustrating.
Yeah, isn't there a timer in a soccer game? Like, how is it that the end of She's the Man, that goal just like ends the game?
That's what Daniel said. He's like, it's over?
It's
Maybe it was overtime. Maybe they were tied. It was an overtime.
It was a penalty shot, and it wasn't overtime.
Yeah,
Right,
they needed some sort of
But I
ticking
think
clock.
she drew the penalty as the whistle was blown to end time. So it was like, ooh, this is it.
Yeah, and they did
that
say
wasn't
this penalty shot will decide the game.
So that movie looked like Mean Girls. Like straight up, they were trying to be Mean Girls with how they were shooting it, how they costumed everyone, the neighborhoods that they had it in. It was definitely like Mean Girls looked great. Let's do Mean Girls.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
With some like somewhat effective
Sure.
soccer shots, not
No.
the actual game,
You're right.
but some of like the trick shots they have are pretty cool.
Yep.
Channing Tatum looks great. That
Tater nuts.
nightmare sequence where everyone's getting elbowed in the face and
Yeah.
bouncing off.
I like
like
I
the
the
way
loved
sequence.
that sequence. I
good.
thought that was really artistic. Actually, I was
Absolutely.
like, dude,
That was good. I woke up for that part. Like I perked up and was like, "Ooh!" Like that was. I agree.
that was really smart.
My biggest look gripe with this movie, and I don't even know if it's fair to say it as a gripe because it's the same issue as in a Shakespeare play, but the fact that nobody was able to look at Amanda Bynes and be like, "You're a girl," or when
Suspend
Olivia.
your disbelief.
Okay, so what about when Olivia, who's in love with girl version of what's his name, Spencer or Sebastian?
Sebastian.
And then she hugs real Sebastian, who's like a foot and a half taller than girl Sebastian, and
Yeah.
doesn't realize the difference.
And has,
Suspension
like,
of disbelief.
Or when Sebastian has his whole male speech and shows his junk to the audience and talks in his big, deep man voice, and then
Yep.
and then girl Sebastian comes back on the field and talks to Channing Tatum,
Yep.
and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're the same person."
Yeah.
And and here's my thing. I would have bought it more, and I would suspend my disbelief more. This is a note for all parts of this movie. If I feel like it's a story note, I feel like it's an acting note, it's a sound note because of how she talked. It's all the things. If Amanda Bynes hadn't been the worst performer I've ever seen in my life in this movie,
We're getting into it in acting. We're getting into
so
it.
anyway, that's part of the reason why I couldn't suspend my disbelief, and I was angry.
Okay.
Well, there was actually a point where I turned to Marisa and I was like, if anybody actually spoke like this, they'd be incapable of making friends. Like it's just people, no human being actually talks like that.
Which is why they had to do the whole play of look at it. I kind of like that they just took a pot shot at men, and it was just like, if he can get the girls, then
Yeah.
he must be cool. He must be
Yeah.
a guy.
Totally.
3 girls walk up to him and, oh, well, we believe whatever you're laying down now because you get
Because the hot
mean,
girls
that
are
is-
into
that
it.
guy fucks.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is the law of the jungle.
Pretty much.
I just wanted someone like
This guy
that.
fucks.
Look, okay, we'll get sorry, I can't. We'll get into an acting.
Yep.
We'll get into an acting.
Just take a breath,
Just
Jack.
breathe, Jack.
Breathe into a bag.
Now, whenever I see you, I'm just gonna say Amanda Bynes, and you're just gonna break out in a rash.
You're going to be that tomato shade you are right now here.
I am pretty tomatoey right now because I'm getting all revved up with this movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, but the overall look of A League of She's the Man is nothing special. It's pretty.
Oh, yeah. It's 2006. Let's do a film about teens in 2006. This is
Yeah.
how that is shot. Yep.
So
There's
it has some like
there-
jolty camera stuff to make it seem exciting and energetic and whatnot.
I have written down under looks, the bed jump shot in the Malvolio scene was cool. And I don't know what that was.
Say it
I think
again.
The bed jump shots.
Oh, when the spider is in their
Is
room
in
and
the
they're
bed.
and they're looking down at it from
Yeah,
their bed. and
yeah,
they're
I think
jumping-
it was
they
ju-
jump across the camera, right?
The jump. Yes, yeah, the camera's in between the beds.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that was fun. That was
Yeah,
fun.
that was cool.
Enjoyed that.
I
So
feel like
there's
whoever was on set, then that was their idea. If it was like the DP or someone's
Yeah.
idea to try it, they're just really excited that they're hearing you shout out their
Yeah, they were
shot
trying
right
to.
now.
Oh, and they're definitely listening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a huge podcast, you guys. Didn't you know?
Huge
Oh, we know.
with TPs. Yeah.
say
We never
you
even
love
talked about the
DPs, is that what you
fucking.
said?
We never even talked.
Oh, Jack's mad again.
We never even talked about the kissing booth. And how
And another thing about the story of this movie.
the rapey as fuck kissing booth. Okay, anyway, god damn it, I hate this movie.
Yeah, kissing
But
booths
also
don't exist, right?
but it's not the movie. Kissing booth was a thing that
Yeah.
existed.
I've
You know
never
what I mean?
seen one, so I don't know if that is true.
yeah.
They did exist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you pay your $1 and you get a smooch from.
Yeah, generally it was frowned upon that like old men. It was all just it was
Well, yeah.
usually to raise money. It's completely ridiculous, but it did
Yeah.
exist, and in that way, it was another like kind of aware we're making. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pointing out because he had the old guy who's not chewing gum and he keeps joining the line after he kisses whoever's up there.
and the kid that you had a
It's not
comment about.
funny.
No,
Sean.
that was gonna go with my gripes. I called him the horny fat kid who is destined for a life of hiring sex workers.
Stillwell, the little baby, the little boy, and
No. The
Stillwell wannabe, and she's the man.
the kid who's at
Yeah,
the
the kid
kissing
at the
booth
fair.
who's like, bro, you don't have to flirt with her. We've already
Yeah, yeah.
paid for her.
yeah,
That's pretty.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a pretty funny line.
Yeah, but it made
That
me
was
cringe
pretty-
too. I
that
was
was
like,
pretty
oh,
funny.
he paid for it. Yeah.
This is weird. It should be a peck. There was it was like a long kiss, and like Olivia is Olivia? Yeah, she's like clearly really uncomfortable. And I was like, this is uncomfortable. I'm very
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I'm shoehorning.
You're shoehorning.
Shoehorn.
Looks. I mean, that's looks. I don't know how much more looks we can get.
Any other thoughts? We can move on.
I thought the costuming in A League of Their Own was amazing, and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the hair and the makeup and all that stuff. It was just so
The
fantastic.
the dance sequence
The swing
yes.
sequence.
outstanding.
Yeah, it's
My
really good.
Goodness.
I had a feeling you were going to say something, Jack. I was going to ask you about it later. I'd be like, what about? I just love that in an old movie, they find the time to have a swing dance sequence.
Yeah.
It's not plot moving. It's just cool.
I feel like older movies are more inclined to do that though than
That's
than
why I
movies.
like the
Yeah.
older. That's why
Sure, sure,
every
sure.
older movie you guys have watched for this podcast, I've mostly liked all the older ones because they take the time to develop character, and there's like art
Sometimes
in
3,
the camera moves.
4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
And-
feel things by the end of it because it's not like
Yeah. I appreciated so much too, but like how they did it, that it wasn't one of those like you really have to suspend your disbelief and imagine that like all the 50 people there happen to be professional dancers at the place they went to. But it wasn't that this thing that was happening was like special, that this group of women had showed up and a few of them knew how to dance, and there were a couple guys who knew how to dance, and they were having like the time of their lives, and everyone else was like watching and was like blown away by this special thing that was happening, like
Right.
and
Yeah.
Madonna is awesome in it.
Yeah, she's great.
So charismatic and charming in that
acting.
sequence.
That's
And
acting.
that's no, but I mean, like as her physical dance performance, I mean, she's great. She's
I love
super
that Sean
talented.
has become the category police in this podcast.
Someone has to.
I think it's probably because I go off on tangents as
No,
much
we-
as Jack
It is
does.
all your fault.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say Jack, as our most experienced fight person here.
Sure.
The cat fight was that not the saving grace for you for She's the Man? Did you not fall in love with this film over the choreography, the thought put behind the hair pulling, the clawing, the screaming?
No. Whatever you said, I don't know how to answer in the negative way, yes or no to that, but I'm just gonna say no.
Okay.
I did kind of find it kind of funny that they put in sounds that were like more aggressive than what was happening. It felt like sometimes that made it seem really severe.
Yeah.
Like she fell and hit her head on the floor, which would be bad enough, but the sound was like this horrible slapping sound that I was like kind of like.
I thought she broke her nose. I thought she was gonna put her face up and have just like a bloody face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty ruthless. It was an annoying scene, but
I also love that they had the way they showed in that movie that the game was they were well into a soccer game was to just cover everyone in dirt.
I also enjoyed in the soccer game the physicality and performance of Sebastian when he finally came back. I thought he was quite funny
yeah,
physically.
I agree.
He would
Almost
just, like,
tripping
knock
over the ball.
He would catch a pass by just like knocking his knees together, and then like it was just like very silly.
Jack's laughing at this film. Jack enjoys this film.
Shut up. There were like 3 laughs, and that was one of them. was
Jack and she's
Sebastian.
the man sitting in. I'm done.
I'm ending the
Sean
round.
joined in.
The Citizen Kane of the week is